I'd take Jahmyr Gibbs number 1 overall. For 2025, I'd take him number 1 overall. 2 weeks ago, I made a claim that I'd take him in the top 3, and a lot of people got their panties in a bunch. Oh, Monty, Smitty, but what about Monty's there, Smitty? He'll never be. Look what he's doing right now. Is he number 2, number 1, number 3 in your fantasy football scoring? Gibbs is absolutely already living on another planet right now. Not the moon. That's obviously not a planet, but he's not on the moon. He's not on Mars. He's not on Saturn. He's on Jupiter. Living on Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system. Did you know that every single planet could fit inside Jupiter? Every single other planet could fit inside Jupiter. That's how big it is. It's the biggest gravitational pull and bully in the solar system, second to only the sun. You know who else is cracking the Jupiter list tonight? He's on screen right now. Our 2 first Jupiter men for 2025. The biggest board you could land on. I give you Jahmyr Gibbs and JD5.
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter men.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Woo! These two bad boys can absolutely not only take you to a 2024 Fantasy Football Championship, but be cornerstones of your Dynasty League, cornerstones of your 2025 yearly league drafts, your redraft leagues, cornerstones of your 2025 Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Yeah, link is being dropped in the live chat. These are cornerstones on every single level. No matter what format you play, Dynasty, Keeper, Redraft, Best Ball, Non-Best Ball, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll match your first deposit 50% all the way to $1,000 using code Smitty or the link I just dropped in the live chat, and I'm pinning right now in the live chat. There it is. It's pinned. It's in the description of the video for anybody watching the replay. We are smashing the hell out of Jahmyr Gibbs and JD5 in 2025. Now, we're not here just to talk about 2025, but we can chew gum and walk at the same time. And going forward, right here, December 22nd, right around Christmas time, is essentially when I do this. I take the shifter and I go from D drive into 2025 mode. And that doesn't mean we don't talk about the rest of the season. Cater to your Week 16 fantasy football matchups. Clearly, super chats are going to, take precedent when they come in terms of topic. But we're going to talk about 2025 like a madman. We're not going to slow down. There's no, see you guys in March. We're going to take a little itty bitty break poo because we're so scared to go 365. Not on my watch.
Let him cook.
We told you. We told you about 2025. That's what we're here to do. We're here to make statements, to make bold predictions, to put our claim on different things that we think are going to happen in 2025. That's why you hear me come in here and say, not because I'm just full of shiat and I absolutely think that this channel's the best thing ever, even though it is.
Let him cook.
You know it's the best. But not only are we here to talk fantasy, we're here to talk fantasy before anybody else. We're here to talk 2025 before anybody else. We're here to talk rookies before anybody else. And that starts now. December 22nd, we are talking Go Forward 2025 in conjunction with 2024 Week 16 or Week 17, Week 18, week, whatever playoffs. We're going to do playoff stuff. We're going to do NFL free agency previews, NFL draft previews, rookie stuff, rookie content. We're doing it all, and it begins right now. And it begins with these beautiful fellers right here.
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter men.
Look at these bad boys. We already went over all this. Go watch the previous show to get the entire wrap-up of all these monsters that exploded. We hit on everything. We hit on the misses. We hit on all the explosions. Probably, arguably, the best week we've ever had on this channel. Go watch the wrap-up show if you want a detailed explanation of the morning and afternoon games. But we are here right now to talk about this man, Jahmyr Gibbs. My number 1, 2, or 3 overall player for 2025 redraft. He's clearly in my top 3 in Dynasty, but he's also in my top 3 in redraft. And I don't want to hear one of your very, very poor arguments about how Monty's going to hold him back. Monty was there for almost the entire season, and look where he's sitting right now. Let's take a little gander and pull up. I think my app will update the top scoring player at each position, including the games today. Let's click on leaders. Let's click on running backs. What do you know? Looky here, reindeer. He's right at number 3, knocking on the door of number 2 right now. Is this even updated? I don't even know if this is updated. This might not even have his full point total. Let's see here. I think it is. He's either 2 or 3 in every single one of your formats. This is a guy that supposedly was going to be hampered by David Montgomery all year long. David Montgomery's not bad. I love David Montgomery. David Montgomery serves his purpose. He's a good running back too. He doesn't hold a candle to Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not even allowed near Jahmyr Gibbs' jockstrap. He can't sniff it. He can't touch it. He can't hold it. He is a top 3 overall player. And all you Monty lovers out there, I like him too. I don't hate Monty, but stop acting like Monty is on the same level as Jahmyr Gibbs. Stop acting like anybody is on the same level as Jahmyr Gibbs, because the truth is no single running back has more upside long-term, short-term with an offense. An offense is going to be good for next 5-6 years. It's going to be electric, potent. There's so much touchdown opportunity. No offense runs the ball enough to where you need a David Montgomery. Gibbs is getting way more work than he even needs right now. And they even take him off the field. They give him breaks. He didn't even play the end of the game. And this guy absolutely exploded in week number 16. Just take a gander at the totals. I have him right here. 109 yards and a touchdown. 4 for 45. Didn't even play the end of the game. He sat out a big chunk of time because the game was out of control. And that's what you're going to get. And you're going to get this team saving him to make sure they don't work him into the ground. So whether Monty's there or they draft another rookie to replace Monty, if Monty decided to retire or got abducted by aliens tomorrow and safely returned in 5 or 6 years when his time was done, doesn't matter. They're going to replace Monty. Somebody's getting work in this offense next to Gibbs. Because if you run, let's do a little math. You run the ball 500 and let's call it 60 times. 560 divided by 2 is 280. Do you think you want Monty or Gibbs, either one of them, getting 300 carries a game? You don't. Monty, actually Gibbs right now, his totes equal 1. I don't know if this is updated. This might not be updated yet. He might be like number 2 overall, number 2 running back. Yeah, he might have climbed all the way. Gibbs has under 200 rushes. I believe it's... Ziggy, how many rushing attempts does Jahmyr Gibbs have on the season? I don't think he can get
Today,
this.
Jahmyr Gibbs had 23 rushing attempts for 109 yards.
Yeah, he can't do that kind of math. He really can't do that kind of math. Jahmyr Gibbs rushing attempts 2024. Let's look it up. He is currently... I just don't think my app is fully updating me on the stats for the year. It looks like he's at 209. Is that correct? 209. That makes sense, right? 209. He's at 209 rushing attempts. So we have one more week left of football. One more week left of football. I just told you 560 divided by 2 is 280. 280. This man is not even close to 280. He's at 209. He's not even at a point where he's consuming half of the Detroit Lions rushing attempts. And you're worried about Monty? I'll tell you what. Gibbs I'll take with a smile at 1, 2, or 3 overall. And if you don't want to dance with this one, that's fine. Sit out, tap out. We have plenty of people ready to step up and do the foxtrot with your boy Smitty. Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 3 overall player. If you're not on board, then get the hell off, okay? We'll take your Bijan card.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. So you're wrong. Only fantasy cards, you're wrong. It's 209 because it didn't update. That's what I was saying. I think this app hasn't updated yet. I think he's the number 2 overall running back in fantasy now. He climbed to number 2. Barkley's number 1. Jahmyr Gibbs is number 2, if my math is correct. And he has 209 totes of the ball. And this guy, I'm taking away Bijan.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Anybody that doesn't understand how good Jahmyr Gibbs is or gives me a "but Smitty" or an excuse, your Bijan card is getting.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Take a big lap. We don't need your headache mask coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
Number 1, number 2, number 3 overall. Don't even. I mean, you can bring the arguments. The phone lines will be open in a minute. You can go ahead and shoot your best shot on your defending of Monty. Let us know without telling us that you're a Monty only owner. Call in, please. I plead to you. JD5. No, let me say something very clear. Bring it in close. JD5. Nobody like JD5 more than this channel. Nobody. I don't even know if I have the clip anymore. It might not play. Yeah, I have to locate it. Nobody like JD5 more than this channel. As Scott Hansen came on and I said he was going to be a top 5 QB, we talked about it. I wish I would have made such a bold statement about JD5 that he would have given the challenge to JD5 instead of Penix. I still believe in Penix Jr. Penix Jr. was remarkable today considering the circumstances. Was very, very good in his first start. And there was some bad luck involved. And he gets to face off against JD5 tomorrow, next week, Sunday Night Football. Can't wait for that game. It's going to be a glorious game. Penix Jr. versus JD5. But JD5 is special. JD5 is a top 1 to 5 quarterback in the National Football League already. NFL. You heard me. Oh, it's too early. You heard me. A top, not 5, top, put some damn respect on it. Top 1 to 5 NFL quarterback. If I'm building a franchise from scratch right now, it's Mahomes, it's JD5, it's Lamar and Burrow. There's a select handful of about 5 quarterbacks that I'm starting an NFL franchise for. Hurts is right around, right outside that 4-5-5 territory right there because he isn't as good fundamentally as a few of these quarterbacks I just named, Lamar and Burrow. But in fantasy, he's top 1 to 5. Well, about 2 to 5 as well. Josh Allen's 1. JD5 can flirt with 1. That's Lamar obviously can flirt with 1. There's only 3 quarterbacks that really essentially can flirt with the number 1 overall pick. Burrow can kind of dance with it. Hurts can dance with it. Burrow and Hurts are more 2 to 6. 2 to 6 is about where their range is. Josh Allen, Lamar, JD5 are 1 to 6. There's overlap, obviously. 1 year, they could rank differently than the next year. But 1 to 6, there's 2 quarterbacks. Let's put it on the board and marker board it up right now. So it's essentially, why do I have, let me see. There we go. It's essentially 1 and 2 is going to be Allen, JD5, and Lamar in no real particular order. So let me erase that and just say 1 to 3. It's these 3 QBs. And then there's not a tier break. I shouldn't even draw a line necessarily. But then it is, well, yeah, there's a dotted tier break. There's a tier break to a degree. But Burrow and Hurts can dance in the bottom of this tier. Burrow can float anywhere in here. He's done that before. Jalen Hurts obviously has the ability Mahomes can get there. I know a lot of Mahomes haters are going to laugh at that and say, no, he's done. When's the last time? Okay, just to put that to bed for everybody that's going to say something ridiculous about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has done it before, and it hasn't been decades like everybody thinks. He was number 1 in 2018. He was number 8. Then he was 3. Then he's 4. Then he was 1. He was just recently 1. Okay, let's stop talking about how Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the capability of turning back into a top 5 quarterback. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Stop embarrassing yourself by saying this guy's garbage and he's never been good. He hasn't been good for years. Okay, let's stop with that. Now, has he had a little 2-year hiatus from the top 5? Absolutely, but the upside is still there. Tom Brady had some big, huge seasons and then had a couple mediocre, then some big ones. It happens with every quarterback unless your name is Josh Allen. If you're Josh Allen, you're literally 1 or 2 every year. 6 in 2019, then it was 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. This year, he's looking like he's trending to be 2 because of the bad game this week. But he could even slip maybe to 3. Let me see what the quarterback scoring is. Burrow's catching him. Burrow might have got right there, right next to him. Burrow's right there. Man, this is great. Connor, say something, Smitty. Hey, Lewis, how about this? Lewis says, say something about Connor being the number 1 running back. How about I told you, Connor? How's that?
Let him cook.
How about that, Connor? Does that work? Does that work, Connor? Now go get me a James Conner coffee. I love when people come in here. This is why I put Connor must start on the screen for the entirety of the 3 days straight. Is because someone was going to come in. I don't know if people. I don't know what this is. We're getting bigger to where we have so many people that view. People probably confuse me for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like they watch like a couple things and then they come in and they go, how do you feel about your Connor statement? And then it's like, it makes him, embarrasses him. You know, now he's got to go get coffee and I don't even drink coffee. I'm still going to make him go get it. Then when I get it, I'm going to crush it and throw it right in the trash can. But it's wild. It's wild. JD5, where do I take him in 2025? Okay, here's the quarterback board again. It's Allen, JD5, Lamar. That's like your 1 to 3. Burrow, Hurts. These guys can be. We'll call it 2. We'll call these guys 1 to 6. We'll call Burrow, Hurts 2 to 6. There's the overlap. But the difference between these guys is they're just safer and they're more capable of being number 1 overall. Burrow and Hurts probably won't flirt with number 1 very often, but they can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These quarterbacks are amazing. Now we got to talk about early quarterback. Smitty, early quarterback is bad. It's not bad. We're the king of early quarterback. We're also the king of finding JD5. Who found JD5? We did. We did. But who also goes JD5 shopping while they also can, in conjunction, draft Josh Allen in round 3, draft whoever in round 3, draft Hurts in round 3, 4, draft Burrow in round 5, still draft JD5, and then make some sort of blockbuster quarterback trade later because we're astute and we know how to chew gum and walk at the same time. Early quarterback can rule and win leagues. I don't care what anybody says. I've been doing this 23 plus years. I don't need anybody to tell me what will work and what won't work. I believe in early quarterback. Every year, you can kind of sense a trend. It was early running back season on this channel. Everybody ran away from early running back. You can't go RB in best ball. You can't do this. You can't do that. You got to go wide receiver heavy, Smitty. We stood up against the industry. We stood up against everybody, and we said, you know what? It's running back season, and we absolutely smashed.
Let him cook.
We absolutely smashed early running back. And so every year it's different. Every year it's like sometimes you get a sense through mock drafting. You can't really know yet. You find out around February, March what feels like the right tendency. And it's early QB. I'd probably say there's so many people that hate early QB. Like no offense, Slim. Like Slim's like, I hate early QB. Well, I guess you didn't have Josh Allen services this year. I guess you didn't enjoy that. JD5, I'd take JD5 anywhere in this territory. I would take Josh Allen anywhere in, you know what? I won't even circle an area. I'll just say Josh Allen as I put a video up. I would take him anywhere. Josh Allen in round 2. Anywhere in round 2. Every time? No. What makes me take Josh Allen in round 2? Well, I don't sit there and go, you know what? Somehow Kyron Williams slipped again because people are going to doubt him next year. Or the right wide receiver slips. When I get to a territory where I don't really know who I want, and it starts to get gray, and I start to say to myself, I don't even know if this guy's going to bust or not. I don't like anybody here. Guess what? Josh Allen's mine. That's where I execute and activate my early quarterback Josh Allen drafting, when the right player doesn't fall. This is a case-by-case situation. It doesn't mean that because we love early quarterback and Josh Allen in round 2, despite the entire fantasy football community throwing hate and shade on one of the best strategies in fantasy, we don't deploy it every time. It's case-by-case, contingent upon the players that are available. So if the right player falls, let's say St. Brown falls because people doubted him. They doubt him going into next year because Jameson Williams is bouncing off the walls like we predicted here on this channel. And so people are doubting St. Brown, and St. Brown falls into this territory here. Well, guess what? You don't have to go early Josh Allen. You can go St. Brown. If somebody tickles your fancy in the second round, you draft them over the early quarterback. That's the recipe. That's the formula. But when you get to a place where you don't know who to take in the second round, guess what? You draft Josh Allen because he then becomes the lock of round 2. Now, JD5, I'd put JD5 anywhere in the 3 to 4 territory. I'd put Lamar anywhere in the 3 to 4 territory. I'd put Jalen Hurts because this ranking here, again, even though Jalen Hurts didn't fall in that earlier ranking, he fell into the 2 to 6 range. He wasn't in the 1 to 3 necessarily. He's still right here on the edge. Like I said, he can have a cup of coffee. Those are the quarterbacks that I'm strongly considering. Now, Burrow, I'm going to wait, and thank God for the early quarterback haters, because it will still drive Burrow into round like 5. Could Burrow go in end of 4? Sure. But Burrow's probably going somewhere in this territory here or in this territory here. It's and he's going to float. He's going to fluctuate. He might start off here, and then in August he falls all the way to round 5. Early quarterback can crush. Late quarterback can crush. Shedeur Sanders, will we take another rookie? Will we like one of the rookies remotely close to the way we like this incoming class? Maybe, maybe not. We've been starting Bo Nix in some fantasy football circles. So don't think that Shedeur or Cam Ward can't become viable top 7 to 10 fantasy football quarterbacks. They absolutely could. We got so many good quarterbacks. Don't let the fact that there's elite level quarterbacks that fall into the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds detour you away from Josh Allen, who crushes everybody, single-handedly walks you into a championship. JD5 in the 3 to 4 territory single-handedly could win you games. You don't believe me? Ask somebody that had JD5 this week with 5 touchdowns and 80+ rushing yards. Absolutely love early quarterback. I laugh at people that think that we're saying that I'm saying you always have to draft one early. How did we find JD5 if I'm always drafting early quarterback? Yeah, think about that one. Chew on that. How do we find that? How do we find Jalen Hurts, the breakout year when he was a 6-7 rounder? How do we know that? How do we predict that if we're always early quarterback? We're not always early quarterback. I'll just defend early quarterback more than most because people run their mouth about the topic because they hear it from somebody else and they regurgitate it, and then people consume it, and then people have the wrong idea about early quarterback. Early quarterback can win mother freaking leagues. Lewis says Connor hater. Lewis says Connor hater. Hey, Lewis, how about this? Lewis says Connor running back 1 says, first of all, Lewis, you're spamming the chat. Connor running back 1 say something. I don't even understand this. Lewis, we don't even know what you're saying. First time you heard Connor on screen all year, you bum. Hey, how about this, Connor? Connor, how about this? Goodbye.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now.
Amazing how you come in here talking so much trash and you call the host of a show a bum and you think he's going to keep you around. Now you're gone. I hope you enjoy watching from the sidelines of your favorite show that you're so obsessed with coming in and watching and hating on, but you're here every day, Connor, and you'll be here tomorrow. I guarantee you. You'll be here the next day. You'll be here 5 weeks from now. You'll be the first one in the door. You'll come in, you'll hit the thumb down button. You'll be the first emoji I get. It'll be a thumb down from Connor, and then he'll file in and he'll watch the entire time and watch the entire show and just hate on me and tell all of his friends how bad I am, but he's going to be here every single day and watch and watch and watch. And then he'll then he'll come in with his girl's account so he can comment again. And he's going to say something stupid and we're going to block him again. Then he's never going to be able to speak to anybody. That's the cycle that Connor goes through. It's unfortunate. You know what's unfortunate? He comes in talking crap about somebody that promoted Connor all mother freaking week. And if Connor really did his research, I know a lot of people think I just say these things, but bro, if you go back to NBC Sports Radio when James Conner was a backup, me, not you, Connor, me, I went on NBC Sports Radio and said he would be one of the biggest breakouts and league winners when he wasn't even the starter yet. That was the year Lev Bell was hinting at maybe holding out. And your boy went on NBC Sports Radio and put him in a top 5 of all my predictions for Connor to win leagues, and he won leagues. So unfortunately for you, or did I keep calling him Connor? I think his name's Lewis. Lewis? Is his name Lewis? So unfortunately for you, Lewis, you just lost the show that was the biggest Connor supporter. And you probably watched my show back then, got turned on to Connor, and you forgot. And now you just deuced yourself out of a show that was more of a Connor believer than you ever thought, because you never thought to ask. Hey, Smitty, did you ever love Connor when he was coming up? Did you see him coming? The answer is more than anybody, pal. And I had a bold prediction on NBC Sports Radio to prove it. But unfortunately, you're gone. How fun is that, Lewis? We'll see you later. Let's see here. Let me get these super chats out of the way, then we'll open the phone lines. People are just wild, you know? And remember what I told you? Someone's going to come in here and I don't know if they mix me up with someone else, but they're going to be like, Connor, how'd you not see Connor? How do you not like Connor? Go back and watch it, Lewis. Just made Best Ball Mania 5 finals with Bijan and Gibbs. Attaboy. Running back, AJ. You made it with running back. People told us not to do it, didn't they, AJ? They told us we were crazy. The data, according to last year, not this year, because this year hasn't happened. According to last year's data, you can't go running back. Well, AJ just said, take that. Smitty, AJ just said,
got him.
AJ's smashing, bro. AJ's absolutely smashing. What were we at? Oh, this screen. Smitty, for the first time ever, we are going to the championship game. It's all thanks to you and the show, buddy. Let's hope I could bring home the championship. Thank you, Red. Appreciate the props. Unlike Lewis, you are smashing and you're losing out on me like Lewis is. A-Chan won me my week. Championship, here we come. A-Chan to the mother freaking moon. The boy is on fire.
To Mars!
A-Chan.
Absolute monster. Thank you. Congrats, Zastro, with the super chat. This was from Lewis before. Thank you, Lewis, for the super chat. You paid me $2 just to get kicked off the show, which is unfortunate because I didn't want you to go, Lewis. No one wanted you to go. You're the one that decided to come in and just run your mouth and say negative, condescending things. James Conner, running back 1, say something, Smitty. F Gibbs is what he said. That's what he spent $2 to say, Lewis. I don't know why you wanted to come in and ruin an opportunity to stay on your favorite show, because this is your favorite show. You absolutely love it. You're here every day. You watch every minute of the show, even the ending credits, just in case we come back. You're always there, and you decide to call me a bum and run and just spew out lies about James Conner right here in front of everybody when everybody already knows what time it is. Why would you do that? Why? I can't imagine being in those shoes. Like, let's say I'm just a regular everyday Joe, and I'm watching what is my favorite show. I can't imagine trying to get a hold of the host's attention and go, "You're a bum." And expect to stay around. What are you even thinking? Both teams to the championship game. Thanks, Smitty. Darius, you're the man, bro. Absolute monster. Who wins the championship? 0.25. JD5, Gibbs, Jacobs, Achane, Lamb, Higgins, Kraft, Bates versus Purdy, Bijan, Kyron, Evans, BTJ, Debo, Jonu, McBride, Aubrey. Man, I'm probably going to say I like both these teams. Kyron and Bijan versus Gibbs and JD5 and Jacobs and Achane, Debo, Jonu, BTJ, Higgins, Lamb. It's going to come down neck and neck, man. If this team can get something out of Purdy or replace Purdy, it could be interesting. I still think Shanahan wants to display Debo like we said before the game. Not that Debo would be a lock to convert on the opportunities, but Shanahan's trying to trade him in the offseason. So he's making Debo look really fresh right now, and that's what he did. So it's tough to say. Purdy and Debo, if that works out. Being Evans is a little banged up. I'm going to lean slightly toward the top team just by a hair, but man, it's going to be a close race. Nikki, congrats. I almost feel like it's a trick question, and these are both your teams in different leagues, and you're just like, those both look like Smitty teams. Do we get concerned with Gibbs when Ben Johnson leaves? Calvin, let's take that as it comes. No, not super ultra concerned. They'll try and keep things. I mean, there's always a little bit of risk involved with that, but like, we're going to play the what if game. Remember, Ben Johnson was supposed to leave last season and he didn't. I'd probably say, it's not great. It's not great if he leaves, but I still think that the offense is going to be fire. I think they'll figure it out. But yeah, there's always a little bit of a risk, and that's what I hate about today's NFL is the great coordinators leave very quickly, and that creates a lot of parity in the league, which is kind of good, but it also keeps things like kind of bumpy and inconsistent for us. Achane and BTJ late window witching our superheroes for me. Best comeback when it looks 99% over against the number one seed. Crazy comeback in my 20 years in fantasy. And Josh, always keep this locked away in your brain and in your heart and your soul, bro. This is why you play fantasy football. Okay, this moment right here, any normal person would get like complacent about. You were sitting there going, man, why can't I be up 100 walking into the final game without having to worry about anything? And when you were losing, you were stressed out. When you won, the feeling you got, look how excited you are. The feeling you got when you overcame the odds is why you play. That is a better feeling than winning by 100 points and never being down. This right here, and everybody that lost tonight, or maybe didn't but loses tomorrow, or lost a week ago, and your team went nuts this week and it didn't matter because your team was out of it. Try and capture what Josh just experienced and say to yourself, this is why I play, and I'm going to win next year and captivate some of this excitement. We all need a little bit of reminder of that. You know what I'm saying? Josh to the moon, bro. Thanks for JD5 over Darnold. Great shape for a 4-peat. Thanks for JD5 over Darnold. Absolutely, but like I feel like I didn't do anything there. I mean, Darnold did pretty well, but yeah, I mean, JD5's a lock. Even when people came and said, like, what about this guy? JD5 was always, okay, unless you had Hurts, which you can't beat yourself up over that. Hurts and JD5 were close. We wavered on that every time we saw it. And the lean was Hurts in general, even from me. You got a concussion, you can't control that. Hurts has been as good as JD5, all year long. You just can't know that a concussion's coming. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 monster, every single week. We still alive, Smitty. Even with Hurts injury up 22.65, he has Jacobs left to go. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the weather might be conducive to some running, but you never know, bro. We've seen people go out and you think you're going to get something and you don't. Down 33.12, half PPR with Josh Jacobs and Kendre. Possible? Absolutely possible, Mac. This is, again, you might be feeling the same way that guy Josh felt, bro. Where it's like you're a little bit down and out right now, and then you have the most unbelievable night. And even if you don't, bro, we're going to tackle 2025 starting today. Starting the beginning of the show, we're tackling 2025. Up 29, I have Packers D. He has Love and Kraft. I'd rather be you with the weather. You know, you never know. It's definitely not a lock, but I mean, I could see Love having a sluggish first half, or I could see him doing well too. But Mahomes, Barkley, Gibbs, Jahmyr, MHJ, and Njoku, Chuba, Pickens, Worthy, McMillan, bench. Can I only keep 6 flex guys plus 1 taxi? Who would you keep? Thanks for everything. Thank you, pal. Keep 6 flex guys and 1 taxi. I don't know what qualifies as a taxi, like if it has to be one of the younger bucks, so you'd have to like choose Worthy or McMillan. I'd probably say shelve McMillan on the taxi squad, and then hold on, I might change that, but I'm going to keep Barkley, I'm keeping Gibbs, I'm keeping Jamar Chase, I'm keeping Chuba, I'm keeping MHJ, I'm probably keeping Pickens, and then I taxi squad Worthy. And then I just redraft McMillan. He won't go high enough to where it's a big deal, so I probably let him go. That would be my answer. If that makes sense, if I messed up on that, let me know and I'll redo it, but I think I got it. Sat JMO for Taylor, lost by 6. Damn. I sat JMO for Taylor and for Taylor, Patrick Taylor. Yeah, I mean, we got that question a lot, and Taylor had that factor of, okay, is there a safer amount of volume coming his way? JMO was clearly high risk, high reward. He's vanished and come back. And JMO was one of my picks of the week, bro. I like Taylor and JMO this week. I'm not going to lie and say I didn't like Taylor. Taylor was felt like a nice play, but JMO is in so many of my lineups right now. He absolutely exploded. He's such a good player. He's so good, I think we're probably going to see Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Legend has it if you say St. Brown 3 times in the dark in the bathroom, you will immediately lose your league.
There's a possibility that JMO's finish moves St. Brown into round 2. And that's where I was talking about, like, if you're sitting there in round 2, when do you decide to deploy the early Josh Allen quarterback drafting inside round 2, which is what he's going to command. Lamar might command it as well. Lamar probably, redoing this, I'd probably say Lamar's not going out of round 3. So like Lamar's going here. Josh Allen is going here. JD5 is going somewhere here. Burrow's probably going to fall eventually to round 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow and Hurts both go like kind of similar. I'm going to put them right outside of here and say like this is 5. I'm going to say Burrow like right here. When do you deploy the early quarterback, Josh Allen, or the Lamar? Lamar might go in the end of round 2 or 3, depends on how he finishes. When you're sitting there and you don't see a St. Brown. When you're sitting there in the equivalent of last year when Waddle was sitting in round 2, and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. At least that's what we were saying here on the channel. I don't know if I can do it. Then why aren't you just going Josh Allen? Smash the hell out of the Josh Allen pick and don't fraternize with the 3rd and 4th round potential players that are sitting inside round 2. What I tried to explain last year is a lot of 3rd and 4th round players were borrowed from the 3rd and 4th round and shoved into round 2 as everybody consumed too many wide receivers. When wide receivers, people come out of best ball trends and they say you got to go wide receiver. You start going wide receiver so much, people start getting scared about not getting a wide receiver. So they start stealing them from round 3 and placing their ADP in round 2, even in redraft. It spills over. That's when I say, screw it. I'll take Josh Allen in round 2 versus draft some 3rd round wide receiver that's being pulled into 2 because people are scared Scotties. That's how you deploy the early quarterback approach in 2025, my people. I think I got all the super chats. Let me go check this screen, make sure I didn't accidentally leave one there. I tend to do that. This is the final super chat, then I'm going to open the phone lines. Keep them flowing, though. I'll answer them in order in which they're received. I've been playing fantasy football for 7 years, and I'm finally on my way to my first finals. QB Josh Allen, Gibbs, Kyron, JSM, BT, Firemouth, Achant, McMillan. Bro, that's not a very good team, Thomas. That's an outstanding team.
Let him cook.
Jeez. Thomas. Thomas dropping wattage all over the place. Look at this. I think Thomas's team is sitting on the screen right here. Go ahead and call in if you got one.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, dial in. Thomas dropping a team of all teams on us. Thomas, nice work, bro. Nice work, broski. All right, let's answer some of these phone calls. Let's get into it. Rob, you're live. What's up, Rob? What can I do for you?
Yo, Smitty, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, bro.
We're going to the ship.
Attaboy.
I appreciate you, and I listen to the show pretty much every night. My boy H-Chan went off, and Bucky also did great. Obviously, Josh Allen.
Wait, Bucky
helped get me there. Didn't have the bet. Yeah, Bucky.
Bucky. Who's Bucky? This guy?
Get buckied.
That guy.
Buckied.
I can ask you a question. Be as honest as you can. It's really hard to be honest about this, but where would you, not where his ADP would be, but where is the highest you would draft Bucky Irving in 2025 redraft? Not best ball earning, just redraft. Be as honest as you can.
To be honest, the only thing that scares me is the shared backfield, but I'd probably, for sure, I don't know, between round
Thomas.
3 and 4.
Thank you, Thomas. 3 and 4. I think that's probably where his ADP will live. So I don't think you're much outside the Bucky, the get Bucky ADP.
Yeah. Probably, like, if I'm, depending on if I have a running back or not before then, but I'd probably lean, or definitely, if it's middle round 3, I would definitely take him for sure.
Yeah.
But he's been phenomenal. I mean, because when I was listening to your show, that you brought him up, and I picked him up, and I literally outbid someone by $1. I went back and I had already placed my bid, and I was like, let me just tack on $1 extra.
Why not?
And I bid $17, and the next 2 guys bid 15 and 16.
Initiate full load drop.
Yeah, you got to initiate full load drop with a guy like Bucky. And when we talked about Bucky Irving and Garendo, and I know Garendo ended up getting hurt, Garendo ended up not being able to deploy the win a league 10 overall value, and so he fell off this board. But Bucky was on this board. Mason certainly qualified. Bucky was a 10 out of 10. Charbonnet was a 10 out of 10. Charbonnet deserved to be on this board as well. In fact, I could put Sharbs on here as well just for good measure. He definitely deserves to be on this board. He carried people. I'm not saying that you have to qualify to be on this board as a guy that played like 7 games or anything, but when you have win a league potential, even if it's for 2-3 games, whatever, you deserve to be put on this board. So Charbonnet was a 10 out of 10 pickup. Irving was a 10 out of 10 pickup. Even Chase Brown was dropped in a lot of formats coming off a very slow start. He was a 10 out of 10 pickup. I mean, we had a ton of them that were 10 out of 10s. Who else am I missing?
Yeah.
Sharbs, Bucky, Mason.
Garendo.
Yeah, I mean,
Chase
he's so short for Garendo that I'll leave him. Yeah, Chase. So these 4 right here were remarkable win a league players. But go ahead. What's your last question, bro?
Might get the start, right?
Yeah.
Next
Well,
week,
we're thinking. Yeah, we're assuming that he's probably going to start, but we'll have to wait until tomorrow's news.
The only question, so I have Kelsey in my starting lineup, and he's been trash, but there's no other options. Obviously, I got to roll with him, right?
Kelsey? Yeah.
Yeah.
And bro,
Okay.
he's sporadic. You know what I mean? Like, you could easily get a big game from him. He's also still, let's see here. He's also still, before this week, I don't think this is including this week, we're still top 5 or 6, So, like, he's still hanging around. And To be honest, man, looking at his game log right now, I'm actually kind of shocked that I'm seeing, something positive when I thought I'd be looking at something quite negative. His targets are like green-lit almost the entire season, but the first 3 weeks of the season. Like, he absolutely has complete green-lit target column. 12. I'm going to go from week 4 on. From week 4, 9 targets. 10. 5 was bad. And that's a good game still, but 12, 16, 12, 4, 8, 13, 6, 8, 7. Like, he's getting massive volume. He just only has the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He only has
and Worthy like blocked a touchdown from him. He was wide open in the back of the end zone, and Worthy didn't know he was behind him. So that would have been a touchdown. Would have changed the week.
Yeah, so Kelsey,
right.
I wouldn't freak out about Kelsey unless you had like a much better option. There's not much you can do. You almost got to play. You almost got to play a guy that kind of flirts on the verge of being a stud at his position. Is he playing like that?
Yeah.
No, but like, could he? Absolutely. He still has the ability to. Because it all comes down to, for him, is Mahomes just going to feed him? He still can dominate anybody in his territory, but does he do some of the things he used to do anymore? No, that's why there's inconsistency. All right, got to go, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks, man.
Yeah, next up is, let's see, Mitch from Oregon. Then I'll go over to Marco. Then I'll go over to Travis. Go ahead, Mitch.
Hey, Smitty. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro.
Oh, man. This week was wild. HN, JD5, JJ. Man, that was nuts.
Yeah, HN. You had all three on one team, HN, JD5, JJ?
Yeah, and I still might not win because my opponent had Barkley, Allen, Goff. I'm up by 4.78 points, half PPR. I've got Green Bay's defense left, and he's got Josh Jacobs.
Green Bay's defense left and Josh Jacobs, and you're up how many?
I'm up by 4.78, half PPR.
You got Green Bay, he's got Jacobs?
Yeah.
You never know, bro. Jacobs could have 80 yards. You know what I mean? And that's it. 80 rushing yards, maybe 12 receiving, and then your Green Bay defense with the weather could have like 8 points. You never know. I would definitely not think it's over, but as for Achane,
honestly, I thought it was over, and then Achane's touchdown kept me in it.
Yeah, so Achane was just a freaking monster. Let me ask you a question, bro. I'm gonna do this kind of all night. You're drafting next year, and you don't know where the ADP is. You're the first draft to ever take place. You know how in the stock market world, a stock is it's priced out the last time it was bought or sold at or whatever. So that's the price, the set price. You're going to set the ADP tone. You haven't seen any ADP mock draft data because there is none. You're the first draft to ever happen in 2025. Where are you taking Achane?
Late first, early second.
I like it. It depends on who's there, right? But yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it depends on who's there, but yeah, late first, early to mid second at the latest.
I like it, bro. I like that you're not scared to take him in round 1, especially if you can bookend this with another player. Like, then it's not the further down he is in round 1, the more of he's like almost like a second round player. It's phenomenal. And like, St. Brown might even fall because of the emergence of JMO. This would be a fantastic way to go. My gut tells me people are still gonna fear Kyren. They're gonna fear Kyren so much next year. Still, it's gonna shock us, but it's gonna happen. The reason they're going to is because Corum got a little more work as the season went on, and they're gonna be like, let's triple down. No, I mean quadruple. Let's quadruple down on this one. We're eventually going to hit it. We'll eventually, everybody gather around. Kyren, because people that hate Kyren hate Achane. People that hate Achane hate every single one of the players, Gibbs, everybody we're talking about. They hate it because they doubted it. They're conservative Calebs. They didn't like the risk. And now they're just doubling down more bad on bad because they want to be right somehow, some way. All right, bro. I got to roll. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
anything else real quick, Mitch?
No, I just, also wanted to call and say thank you for the content, man. So,
thank you, bro. Thanks for watching.
See what happens tomorrow.
If you didn't watch on a grand scale, I'd be sitting here by myself. So thank you.
Exactly. All right, man.
Later, bro.
Later.
Mitch to the moon. Let's go to who did I say was next? Marco. Marco, you're live, bro.
Hey, Smitty. Yeah, I'm kind of like in the same boat as he is. So, made it to the championship in one league. I'm down 14.6 points in the one that I'm trying to repeat in, and I have Green Bay's defense left.
You're down.
Hoping that they can pull off at least 15 points.
You're down how many with
I'm
Green?
down 14.6.
14 with only Green Bay left. He has nobody.
He has nobody.
Woo! That's what you call an adrenaline
It's
rush,
kind of
my
crazy
boy.
too, because I'm going against Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, and I thought it might be a bigger gap, but it's not.
That's an
not bad.
adrenaline rush, my boy, right there. I'm telling you, that's it. This is what you signed up for. If I'm going by
That's
week 16, Falcons 26 points. You need 16, you said? Bengals 20.
Yeah, well, 15.
Bengals 20, Bills 16, Baltimore Ravens 16. You had 4 teams that scored that, okay? So that's good. Green Bay, what did they score that week?
Yeah, 16 last week.
Yeah, okay. You already have it. Cool. So let's go back to week 15 and we'll see them here. So in week number 15, KC 23, and this is just one league that the scoring might be different. Denver 22, Bengals 21, Falcons 21. They've been on fire. Houston 17, Cowboys 17, Green Bay 15 in this scoring format. It's not crazy, bro. And when I pull up Green Bay, you know, especially with the weather, I think you're going to have some luck. They've had 22, 14, 12, 17, 15. They've had some big games, and New Orleans is probably as tasty of a matchup as any of those matchups where they score big. So this is what you play for
tomorrow.
This is what you play for when you go to bed. You're going to pray for some heavy snow and just an absolute debacle disaster. You want visibility 0.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm definitely going to be so guilty tomorrow because I'm a Saints fan, so I'm going to have to be rooting for them tomorrow.
Talk about a sack kick, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you.
We'll talk to you later, Marco. Thanks.
All right.
Saints fan, and he needs him to bust. Anthony, you're live from Orlando. What can I do for you?
What's going on, Smitty?
What's up?
I just wanted to give you a shout out.
Attaboy. Thank you,
Smitty
pal.
to the moon, man.
What did you what had you win today? What was your favorite part about today?
Oh man, I called you on Friday. We talked about the whole Taylor and Jerome Ford. So I had them 2 starting. I had J-Mo. I had Goff. AJ Brown. Yeah, my team went off today.
You started JT, right?
Yeah, I started JT.
Yeah, you had to, bro. I mean,
I
think
Goff,
I remember
JT, Jerome Ford.
Yeah, I think I remember this conversation. Jerome Ford's safe, but JT, how do you sit him on the? I think what I told you was the revenge game. How do you sit him for the revenge game? You know, the fumble. He's pissed off.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like this was the call.
It took him a while though, right? He didn't go off until late second quarter or something like that.
Yeah, his first breakaway touchdown was like sweet, and then the next one came really shortly after, and then they had that AR5 touchdown.
The third quarter or something like that. Yeah.
Then the AR5 touchdown was reversed, and then they said 1 yard line. JT, you want a third? And he said, yes, feed me. Let me make yesterday a distant memory, and he did.
Yeah.
His owners forgave him.
Man. Drop that.
We forgave him.
Yeah. What a comeback.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I also. The whole Penix, man. Remember I called you, we talked about Penix, and you were like, I knew you were saying it was a big risk. Like, you know,
yeah, definitely
a huge risk. But, I mean, 6 points, though, man. I mean, you couldn't do better than that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I know everybody's going to come in strong on this one and say, well, there's a lot of people, I told you already. Look, you could say you told me all day long about other things, but we smashed a whole lot of other things. You're going to miss things. I cannot be 100% on everything that I do. We were pretty damn close to 100% today. You know, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, we smashed a lot. But I was accountable. I came in. This is my earlier show. If you want to go watch it's called the week's 16 recap show. These are some of the calls that I came in strong with, and they didn't connect. But, bro, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, and at the same time, like I don't regret thinking the way I did about the Penix Jr. start, because never once did I tell someone to sit JD5 or Jalen Hurts, and I keep using that because no one should have sat Jalen Hurts. You couldn't have predicted the concussion. But it was Aaron Rodgers. He had 1 TD. Like you're gonna lose over that, then your team probably didn't bring it. You know, Tua Tagovailoa, 1 TD. You know, those were the calls. Even Goff, it was safer. Goff was safer. Darnold was safer. We said that.
I had a dilemma between Penix and Stroud. I feel like that was my dilemma because Stroud going into KC.
And that was an acceptable dilemma to waver over and go either side. And the fact that everybody acts like Penix Jr. didn't, sniff 2 touchdowns is crazy to me. It was a crazy circumstance. They didn't need him for a bunch of plays because their defense kept scoring and getting in optimal positions. It's like they didn't need to go back out onto the field. They were being cautious with him, which we knew they would be, but we thought that he would connect on the ones. It is what it is.
That's kind of the point you made, though. Yeah, that was kind of the point you made. It was like, if you're going to roll with Penix, man, you got to understand it. You got to be aware of, you got to understand the situation because, it was.
I can't wait for
defense.
I can't wait for the Washington matchup next week. It's going to be unbelievable. All right, bro. I got to roll.
Right.
I got to roll. Appreciate you.
All right, Smitty. Take it.
All right. Steve from Phoenix, you're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? How you doing?
What's up, bro?
So I just wanted to, I've been talking to you pretty much all preseason about, fantasy, so I've lost touch with you throughout the season. So I wanted to say good looking out in JD5 because I wasn't as high as him as you were. I was more of a Caleb Williams guy, which hasn't really panned out. But my question is, invested in JD5 for next year, are you concerned at all with the sophomore slump? Because it does happen, and it happens a lot more times than not.
It's a good question.
Case the point, Stroud, know? So what do you think?
It's a good question. I don't think you can ever just blanket statement look at sophomores and go, the sophomores, there's a lot of players that play well as a sophomore. So I'm not gonna go looking for this, bro. I think you start looking for this, the only thing that would concern me is, let's say Kingsbury leaves, we're not liking the replacement. Somebody like McLaurin, knock on wood, suffers some off-season injury and they're not going to be things like that where he's given a much different hand. I think we look at it then. But JD5 is only getting better. He kind of already had this rookie wall that was long, injury, the ribs, and he did play kind of spotty for a string. I've seen him rebound. I've seen him go through adversity. He's only getting better. He's going to have a phenomenal career. I do not sense any sort of red flags for a sophomore slump. Stroud, there were some red flags because Diggs was on roster, and Diggs is a locker room cancer. So there was some worry about that. Tank Dell coming back from the injury. In hindsight, we could piece together more red flags than we probably, were allowing ourselves to see. But they were there. They're not hidden, invisible red flags that we're just looking for something. They're pretty glaring. Diggs, the injury to Dell, just there's a lot of things that you could pick apart. But JD5, we'll see what happens with the coordinators and all that, and go from there. My concern is Kingsbury's going to leave and be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. I think Ben Johnson will have some interest in that as well. And if Kingsbury goes to head coach Caleb Williams, I don't think he's going to fix him. I really don't. But that's where I think Kingsbury's likely to go. Caleb is like his son. He loves Caleb Williams. They're like family. He was his QB coach at USC. He left USC when
he's got potential, man.
Huh?
He's got potential, man. He just holds on to the damn.
Yeah, but I don't like him at all. I mean, you know that. The reason he only plays well in
but
chaos.
That was more of the Bears organization, right? You had stated that was because he went
It's
to the
not.
Bears,
It's
right?
not just that, bro. It's a lot of things. It's his leadership. It's how much of a dog I feel like he is. He doesn't feel like that. He feels like somebody that if I'm in a foxhole and this is my Sarge, you know, and I'm supposed to follow him into war, I don't trust him. I don't think he's got that dog in him. I don't think he has that ability to be that guy. And we've seen his teammates kind of bounce around as they play good. They like him. When they don't play well, they don't like him. And you can say it's all lies, but I'm sorry. We know DJ Moore was frustrated as hell with him. And Ryan Grubb, Ryan Poles. You know what the problem is with Caleb? It's Ryan Poles. It's the top of the flagpole, bro. It's Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles is the problem. He's a horrible GM. He's an absolute dog water. And he's the one making all the decisions that trickle down. Guess who's going to try and fix it all? Ryan Poles. So good luck with that. Hiring, you know, Ryan Poles made a cowardice decision when he decided not to hire Kingsbury, and he hired he brought in Shane Waldron instead of Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator. Why? Because Eberflus didn't want to have Kingsbury, too big of a ego and kind of a big name riding under him, because it would put pressure on him. So Poles didn't do it. Poles didn't have the balls to say, we need Kingsbury. I don't give a crap what you want. If you are scared, just like I said earlier about keeping Fields, if you're scared that as Eberflus or Poles, that your head coach is going to feel like a little bit of an upset Unger and a worried William, because he's got a very powerful offensive coordinator type mind under him, then he's a failure anyway. Just like if you're afraid to get rid of, why did your organization get rid of Justin Fields, bro? That was the dumbest move you could have ever made, getting rid of Justin Fields for a 6-rounder. A 6-rounder, bro. Because what? You're scared that little Caleb Williams was going to be petrified looking over his shoulder. Then guess what? Your quarterback's not that good if that's what he's worried about. I'm not saying that Caleb was worried about it. I'm just saying if that's what your thinking was about getting rid of Fields for a 6-round conditional to a 4th round, what a garbage move. I would look at Caleb in the eyes and say, if you're scared of Justin Fields, then you're not him, and I'll draft somebody else. Yeah. I just, bro, I think Poles is the problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, have a good night, man.
All right, bro. I didn't mean to make your night, you know, kind of put a cloud over.
No, you're good. Good night, man.
All right, later, Steve. I feel bad now. I feel like we fought. I feel like Steve and I fought. I got a $50 hauler here from Michael. Michael says First of all, you're going to Mars, Michael.
To Mars.
Hopefully, the Jupiter button I get up sooner than later. Last time I kept the Mars button off the show for like almost a year. 3 points from Corgi, final round. The other in my pod are done. Championship in the Big Money League. 2 back-to-back with Jacobs in my Family Friends League. Only Best Ball Mania entry with Love, and I have Jacobs, Green Bay tight ends, and Green Bay wide receivers left, needing a 60-plus point for final round berth. Appreciate you, Michael, dropping the $50 wad. You get the $50 song made by the glorious Denny. Appreciate you.
$50. Give me $50 holler. Get by the brother Smitty. Give me $50.
Appreciate you, Michael, dropping the 50 wad. Hang tight, phone line. I'm coming right for you. I just want to clear the super chats out so nobody has to wait a long time. Terry Roberts coming in with a $5 holler. Terry, appreciate you, moderator. I would like to reach out and tell Mark Cleveland what a game. Mark beat me 169 to 163 in the Mars. Travis and Mark to face each other in the championship. Thank you, Terry, for updating. I was going to update everybody on that. And congratulations to Travis, who I'm going to go to in a second on the phone line, for making it to the finals. And congrats to Mark Cleveland. Good job, Terry. Nice fight, pal. This one here from Player 702. Yo, do you think Kendre Miller can win me the fantasy championship? My opponent has the Green Bay defense. The score is 119 to 119, essentially. What do you think? Green Bay versus Miller. I think majority of people would say Miller. I think it's going to be really close, dead even. I don't believe Miller is going to drop 40. I'm not saying he can't have 80 and a touch, 80 total yards and a touch. It's possible. But I think I would rather... Opponent has the Green Bay defense. I guess I'd rather have Miller by a hair. But it's going to be very close, very close. And congratulations on getting into that position and enjoy it. Don't be all stressed out. Enjoy the rush that it gives you. What are your predictions for next Sunday night's game between the Falcons and Commanders? I think it's going to be a battle, bro. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think Penix Jr. is going to deliver a nice, really good game. The Falcons were humming. They looked great. They scored 30-plus points. They were firing on all cylinders. Everybody can say what they want about Penix Jr.'s stat line, but if that's what comes out of your mouth, you clearly didn't watch the game. The announcers were even talking about how good he looked. Everybody's like, the interception wasn't his fault. He should have had a touchdown or two, and they ran the ball so well, and their defense kept scoring. He didn't. It was game script. He looked phenomenal. His passes looked remarkable. He could throw downfield. His arm is a cannon, and it's super accurate. And he threw one ball to Mooney where Mooney hadn't even cut yet. The rapport that they have together. He launched the ball before Mooney had made his cut. It was a beautiful, perfect throw to Mooney. Mooney's his favorite target right now. I'm a little worried about London. We'll see how London is. A little bit banged up, but I will say that even Superfish made a comment about this earlier in the week. The first pass to London, he dropped it. And, it did look like it was so Penix lefty threw the ball, and it was like in a different place than London was used to it. And Superfish asked if I had any concerns about drops. Clearly, there were a few. I don't think there were a lot. There were a few in the beginning of the game that I felt were kind of related to that. And that was the first drop. But keep in mind, they practiced together all offseason. In the beginning part of the offseason, it was 50-50. And it wasn't to put pressure on Cousins or say that, it's a competition. But because Cousins was still rehabbing and they wanted to get Penix as prepared as they could, they split the workload in camp. And so Penix was very versed with these guys. And at everybody's mind, they picture like Penix Jr. coming out of the tunnel, taking off the outfit for the first time, introducing himself to the players and saying, I'm your new quarterback. It's nice to meet you. People have weird visions of that they haven't played together in practice for an entire year. But there was a drop in the game. And London could just have had the dropsies, but London dropped 2 big plays, at least 2. And it was a little bit discouraging because Penix Jr., was like, damn it, bro. He should have went 3 for 3 on the first drive. 2 drop. It was unbelievable. It was really bad luck. It's felt a little bit like the Mahomes bad luck. Like where it's like Mahomes goes down, is at the 1 yard line and it tips up, gets interception, and it gets taken for a touchdown defensively. And it's like, what in the hell? How does Mahomes buy a touchdown? Like it felt very much like that. The only the difference isn't the team. The team won just like the Chiefs keep winning. So it was kind of wild. But I do think we're going to see Penix Jr. have a really, really good day. Do I think the Commanders win? I don't know that I'd even say that. I think it's going to be neck and neck, back and forth. We'll break it down later in the week, but I don't know if I'm ready to call a winner, but it's going to be a remarkable game. I'm going for the 3-peat in one and only league. Nice job, Antonio. Goff, Jacob, Swift, CD, Neighbors, Devontae Smith, and DK. DK stepped up. Superflex DK, you're the best. Oh, that was the DK call. Yeah, hopefully that outscored the other calls that you had, but DK did score a touchdown. Still there was some worrisome stuff about, earlier in the game, and then he scored the touchdown and made it all better. But I don't know how I feel about DK next year, but he's super talented. I love DK at the right price. I'm kind of thinking he's going to be a value, and we're going to be all in on DK because he's going to cost way less than he did this year. Dante, appreciate your super chat. Came back from being down 50 before the Cowboys game. Holy crap, that would be so nerve-wracking. I love it. Going into the Cowboys game down 50. Cowboys game down. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Before Cowboys game down 13. Okay, I'm sorry. Came back after being down 50 before Cowboys game down 13. I didn't continue reading the fragment that you wrote. With just Jacobs to go, PPR. Other league down 20 with Jacobs and Green Bay to go. That's crazy because you have all of that coming down to Jacobs, so Jacobs has to have a big day. But yeah, that's great. That's going to be fun. that's a fun situation to be in. All right, go ahead, Travis, then over to Tebow. Travis, you're live.
Hey, are we doing waivers tonight? Or I was just calling.
You know,
probably
probably not tonight. I thought I was going to need to.
Do them tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's cool.
I think we'll do.
No. One thing I was going to say was, I guess it kind of ties to waivers, but McMillan, is he like a weekly start now? I mean, obviously it depends on who else you have, but
definitely
he seems to be like right into that kind of Godwin target share.
Definitely, like kind of like a rich man Zucchini. You know, it's like we're like, do we keep starting and we keep scoring touchdowns? But McMillan's in a good situation, whereas Zucchini wasn't, and he was doing it. So, absolutely think I start him going forward.
All right, and I have one more question. I can't remember. You can go to the other guy.
I'll come back to you. Let's go over to Tebow. Tebow from Cali. What's up, Tebow? We haven't heard from you in a while, bro.
What's going on, brother? I thought I'd just call in because we are on the doorstep right now. We are on the doorstep of championships. We are on the doorstep of big best ball takedowns this year, and it's all because of JD5, dude. And JD5 had a game of his life today, and oh my God, it was so grandiose. I couldn't wait to call in. I was amazed to call in.
Well, where you been? Where you been? You only call in and show up when JD5 has a 5 TD game. But
no, I was actually surprised I could actually call in today. Usually I call in and it's been busy, man, during the regular season. You're on fire. I can never get in, dude.
That's true. Well, I mean, I don't think you tried. I think you're assuming because I would have seen your number. I would have seen your number come through a couple times at least, bro. But that's all right.
I've tried.
You're here now.
I've tried, brother.
You're here now.
It's been busy, but no. Anyway, I just wanted to say, man, no, good call. You've been on JD5, man. If he was on all of my teams, dude, I went all in on him this year, dude, and he paid off huge for me. I was also in on Hurts big time today, and unfortunately, I was in on him on DFS.
Yeah.
So when he went down, I was like, "Oh my God!" But
yeah, Travis had him in a league too.
just-
You can't beat yourself up over it. You never would have known. I mean, you can't. I people left and right going, "Oh, why did I start Hurts?" It's like, come on, bro. You know, let that go. Stop being the I knew it guy. Like you didn't know it, and you'd have been absolutely ridiculed for benching Jalen Hurts.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. But no, I just wanted to call and say, hey, man, I've enjoyed obviously watching even all through the season and during the preseason. And hey, we're getting ready to do it all again, man. Go back and run it back there. But we got one more week to go, man, and let's go take.
You see the Jupiter Men? Did you see the Jupiter Men yet?
I did not see the Jupiter.
Okay. All right. Hang up and watch this clip right here. All right. Later, Tebow.
Right on, brother.
I give you the Jupiter Men.
The Jupiter Men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter Men.
Those are the first two Jupiter Men. We have all of the boards completely clear. That's the Jupiter Men. This is the Saturn Men.
The Saturn Men.
Empty.
One small step for man.
5 seats only.
Shuttle to Mars.
Mars Men.
Mars Men.
5 seats only. Empty.
The Moon Men.
Moon Men. 5 seats.
Dropping
Empty.
loads in outer space.
5, 10, 15, 20. 20 total players.
The Jupiter Men. Jupiter is so large.
I ended up making it 5 for each. I was gonna go 4 on the Jupiter Men, but I'm just gonna make it 5 each. 5 in each. 20 total. 20 total players, which I believe is slightly under last year's total on the 3 list. So I scaled it down to 5, and we're gonna stick to it. If anybody has to get bumped, they'll get bumped, and we're just not gonna crowd it. If I gotta bump somebody to like a midseason monster board, because kind of like Penix Jr. was on the. We had him on the Moon Man list. He was in the Moon. This year, if there's somebody that's going to break out mid-season, they're going to go to the mid-season monster list. Go ahead. Who else is up next? Briz and then 2-time Junior. Briz, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. First off, glad your dog's okay.
Thanks.
Send a prayer your way, so
Yeah.
glad it turned out.
Appreciate that.
Just want to thank you for all you've done this season.
Thanks,
I
pal.
made 2 out of 5 championships,
Congrats.
so glad with that. Question. One of my championship teams has James Conner. How you feeling about that?
We just got to monitor the injury. It's not like he was carted off to the locker room and didn't, you know what I mean? Like, so we just got to figure out what's what for this week. So hang tight on that.
If he can't go, would you pick up Tyjae Spears or would you roll with MHJ or Amari Cooper?
Spears.
Those are kind of my best options.
Spears had a good day. They like using him too, Spears.
And he's going against Jacksonville.
Yep, Spears is the call for sure. They like throwing him the ball. They like getting him involved. He's scoring touchdowns. He's good, bro. He's fine. He's exciting.
All right. Penix did good, not fantasy good, but
Yeah.
he's going to be relevant.
He's going to be good. He's going to be a really good player. He's going to be so good. And he's got so many weapons. Officially, he's the best setup. Here's the stats from tonight, by the way, guys. We'll go over that in a second. He's officially the most set-up rookie quarterback in all of the NFL. It was Caleb. Caleb's never seen Al. We've never seen a QB set up this good, have we, Al? This is the best team we've ever seen a rookie quarterback get. Caleb's going to be on fire. And it was JD5. We said it on this show over and over and over. Whenever we heard that, we'd say JD5's situation's way better. His wide receivers are actually better. People think that they aren't, but McLaurin alone is going to ball out. McLaurin's balled out. His running backs are crafty. His situation's really crafty. His offensive coordinator is doing wonders with this thing. And I really like the entire situation. From top to bottom, they're only going to get better. They're only going to build around it. Imagine what they do with, some draft capital, some free agency moves, T. Higgins. Who knows what they're going to do? But Washington's only going up from here. All right, bro.
Now,
anything else, Briz?
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
I do. So I'm a diehard Bronco fan. What do they need to succeed next year? We got Bo Nix. I think we need a good running back, but what are you looking at?
I mean, I'm afraid of what your head coach is going to do to a good running back. He's kind of a committee thinking guy, and he certainly isn't honest with the media about what he's going to do, especially with his running back. And he said that point blank. That's not me guessing. He said, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do with my running back, when they were talking about Javonte being on the PUP or not the year he tore his ACL. So he clearly has been true to his word. He's unpredictable. Estime's in there scoring a touchdown. Javonte's back. They're just rotating through that entire thing. I'm not saying a running back can't thrive there. I think one could, especially if Bo Nix gets better and better. But I don't know that I want Genty or any of my top 2 or 3 running backs in my rookie running back ranking will be out soon. But I don't know if I want any of those RBs landing in Denver. I would say, the Denver Broncos, I would say, as much as Sutton's been good this year, and let me pull up his contract real quickly. As much as Sutton's been good this year, I think a wide receiver would be good. Cortland Sutton contract. Let's see. He's got
the year we get rid of Judy, and Judy likes the ball out.
Yeah, that's Judy was it was kind of a mistake to get rid of him. So you have Sutton for 2025. The dead cap on him $20 million. Okay, so you're not getting rid of him or anything. Oh no, the dead cap is $13 million. Yeah, I mean he played too well to worry about getting rid of him, but you can void his contract in 2026. He's an unrestricted free agent. So Sutton's back. That's great news. I wasn't positive if he was an unrestricted free agent this offseason or if it was next offseason. So you got him back for 2025. That's fantastic news. But, would it hurt to go trade up and get a Tet McMillan or draft a wide receiver that ranks inside the top 4 or 5? It wouldn't hurt. I think, addressing both sides of the line, just, working on making the defense even scarier. Those could be good things for Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a really good quarterback, man. You could also go attack free agency, and get a, you know, I'm not saying they want to pay for a T. Higgins, but you could do that way and then use the draft capital on defensive and offensive line situations. But I mean, it's a good team. Bo Nix is a really good player. I love Bo Nix. He was probably, with Penix Jr., tied for being the most NFL-ready quarterback right from the jump. You know, they were both the guys they were older. They had so many games under their belt. They're just fantastic built quarterbacks for the NFL. And JD5 was thought of as more of a risky type of player coming over, transitioning, even though we loved him more than anybody. This guy, Bo Nix, was NFL ready. And he makes some remarkable, magical plays. He's great with his, you know, on his feet. I love the future for Denver. I didn't know if I would like the way Sean Payton was building it until I thought I'd know by midseason. And Bo Nix has been great. So well, it'll be fun to dissect and digest all the news and stuff relating to the NFL draft and as it relates to Denver. I don't really know what I would do if I was Denver right now, just because of the way Sean Payton uses his players. I'd just be scared if it was a top 2 running back. I don't want them going to Denver. Not unless I knew he was going to use 1 RB, which I don't.
Yeah, I'd like to bring in a stud like Saquon, but I don't know what studs are out there that'll be up for grabs.
Yeah, 2000 NFL free agents. Let's take a look at
year,
that.
There was a lot of studs with Henry and Jacobs. I don't know if this next year coming up is going to be that big.
I think Najee's one of them. I think. Let me see if I can pull
Dobbins might be one. Yeah. I know he's not like great, but
yeah, I'm not super.
Najee, Dobbins.
Yeah, so Aaron Jones, but he's an old man. Najee, Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, Ezekiel Elliott, J.K. Dobbins. We've got Rico Dowdle is an unrestricted free agent. That's an interesting one. Ronnie Rivers. Let's see here. That's it. It's not a very... Jordan Mason. That's right. He's a restricted free agent, though, meaning that the Niners can match the offer. They most likely will. And that's why Jaylen Warren's a restricted as well. That's why Shanahan he put him on IR, because Shanahan didn't want to showcase him anymore, because then the offer was going to be higher and they want to match it. Elijah Mitchell's an unrestricted free agent too. So that's an but Jaylen Warren restricted free agent, Jordan Mason restricted free agent. Those are two very interesting ones. And then the other Rico Dowdle unrestricted. And then if we go over to the wide receivers, I'll have boards for these. This is why I love the offseason so much. I'm going to have a board that'll show all these. Stephon Diggs is an unrestricted free agent. T. Higgins is an unrestricted free agent. Keenan Allen, unrestricted free agent. Chris Godwin, coming off the injury, unrestricted free agent. A lot more wide receivers that are going to be available. DeAndre Hopkins, unrestricted free agent. Robert Woods. Hollywood Brown, unrestricted free agent. That's going to be an interesting one. Demarcus Robinson, that's a pretty crafty, like cheap wide receiver that I would like on my roster if I was a coach looking. Westbrook Akine is an unrestricted free agent. Let's see here. Who else? We've got Van Jefferson. Who cares? Almy Brown.
Who? Anyone big will get traded, like a DK or someone.
Yeah,
they always talk about DK
yeah. I mean, that'll be a fun topic off the top of my head. I can't think of anybody but like a franchise tag and trade, type of thing, like with T. Higgins. That's it. I mean,
they might let Godwin go with McMillan doing good.
Yeah, Godwin, especially coming back from injury, is possible.
Yeah.
So I would say the biggest wide receiver free agents are Higgins, Keenan Allen, but he's older, Godwin, Diggs, Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, and Demarcus Robinson, we said. And so those are some interesting ones, but those aren't like, it doesn't feel like, it's not the craziest free agency. It's like T. Higgins is the biggest free agent, really. There's not a lot of other things that are like and Darnold.
You said Diggs, right?
Yeah, Diggs, but he's older. So I'd say Godwin and Higgins over Godwin. So Higgins, Darnold, and Godwin are probably the top 3 free agents, if I had to guess, that we'll be talking a lot about.
Okay.
And at the tight end,
underwhelming.
Yeah, in the tight end position, I don't think there's anything crazy unless like I'm not thinking straight on who might be a free agent. Stone Smart is a restricted free agent. Let's see here. We've got Gesicki is an unrestricted. Ertz is older, unrestricted free agent. Mo Ali Cox is an unrestricted free agent. That's it. Juwan Johnson's an unrestricted free agent. So very underwhelming. It's Higgins, Darnold, Godwin, and like you could argue Dowdle. Yeah, Higgins, Godwin, Darnold, Dowdle, and Godwin, and maybe Jalen Warren as a restricted free agent. Maybe Mason. That's pretty slim
Higgins
pickings.
going to get overpaid.
I could probably put that on one board. You know, I usually have receiver board, running back board. I might have to put this all in one board, free agent board. I'm sorry, Travis. Go ahead.
The rookie board is going to look better. Higgins is going to end up getting a huge contract.
Yeah, Higgins will get paid big money, especially.
I worry a little bit.
Depending on how he finishes, and I know everybody thinks Steelers are going to go. Steelers aren't going to pay that money. I don't think that's going to be a lot of money. What's up, Smitty?
He's
Trade
about the Patriots and
trade
me a little.
B2B for first for Gibbs in Dynasty. First for Gibbs, I would trade a first rounder for Gibbs in Dynasty, of course. Like how many? How many first rounders do I have to give up, Cody? That's the question. It's not a matter of one. It's a matter of how many can you get out of me. Appreciate all the help this year. Smitty down 11 with Green Bay defense left. Let's hope. Yeah, you could. This is the weather and the opponent you need. And it's in Green Bay, so that's all beautiful, bro. It's the best chance you could have had. All right, hang tight real quick. Anything else, Jordan? Or is it? No, is this Briz? I'm sorry. Anything else, Briz?
Oh, no, I'm good. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you next time.
All right, thanks, pal. Jordan Blue, then two-time junior.
Hey, appreciate everything, Smitty, man. I had 2 people give me coffees today. Great job this year. You've been doing great, man. Thank you.
Attaboy. Anything else? That's it?
I had a question.
Yeah, okay.
One question. I had 2 questions for you. Who is your best rookie wide receiver this year, and who is your best rookie running back this year? I got an idea who you might think it is.
Yeah, so I'll answer these 2 questions. I will say that I'm not divulging my rookie rankings because it's going to be content, and it's going to be glorious content, and people are going to be just clamoring over the videos and the content, especially on thefantasyfootballshow.com. And if you don't know what I'm doing and already done to thefantasyfootballshow.com, get out over there and check it out. I have the entire site's divided between Dynasty and Redraft because I'm bringing the Thunder, and I dropped the ball last year and I created less content than I wanted, and I balanced my life and got rid of products like the phone line, the text advice, the draft calls, and other products. Deleted the Discord. I'm focusing on Patreon, thefantasyfootballshow.com, which is my bread and butter from the beginning. I've done this for 23 plus years, and the YouTube channels. That's it. I'm focusing. Hardcore and Spotify is the same thing as the YouTube channel. You can obviously watch or listen on Spotify. But the Fantasy Football Show rookie content is coming soon. And I won't divulge anything until I drop the videos. But the number one at each, I'll give you that. Genty's by far and away the top running back option. However, I have a couple players that I really, really like. Landing spot could definitely...
Wait. I'm talking about for this season right now.
You want me to go and talk about these rookies only?
The rookies that are playing right now, who do you think is the best wide receiver in the league?
Okay, I got you.
Who do you think is the best running
back? And you want it for a 2025 take, right? Okay, not like who is your
and for right now, whatever your bias is for right now or for next year, however you want to go about it.
Yeah. It's a tough call, bro. I'm gonna
give you my I'm going to say
go ahead.
Bucky and BTJ for me is what it's looking like for me. But I'm going to let you continue on your thoughts. What do you think?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that it really kind of has to be. It kind of has to be Neighbors and BT in the tie. And as much as I love MHJ, his situation is not changed now, so we can't judge him as if it is. The Cardinals have Kyler Murray, who is trash, and he hates he hates Marvin Harrison Jr. He absolutely hates him. And I cannot trust MHJ to turn into the player that I think he can become until that situation is resolved. From a dynasty aspect, I'm still buying low because you can buy low. Neighbors, if he gets his quarterback, and he most certainly will, and as of right now, the draft order as of today, with all of the games and things that have occurred, the Giants are the number 1 overall pick. Now, could they screw it up? Absolutely. But I think the 2 quarterbacks that are available, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, are both near can't misses. I think you're getting a Bo Nix at least out of one of those guys. So Neighbors is for sure getting his situation fixed. The Cardinals are not for sure doing anything. They might keep Kyler. Hopefully they trade him. If they trade him, who do they get? Can they get somebody even better than him? Maybe they get somebody worse. It's hard to know. But the Giants are going to improve their situation. I think BT... I think...
I like that take on Neighbors for sure.
I think BT is right there, though. I think he's right there. He's such a good talent. Neighbors is a little better physically. He just is. Doesn't mean that I don't love BT, but he's just a... Neighbors...
Great work this year.
Imagine BT had some good times with T-Law. Imagine if Neighbors gets a competent quarterback. It's going to be remarkable. So that's my answer.
Right. That's right. And then at running back?
Travis, what would you say at running back?
What was the option? Sorry.
Just rank your top running back, rookie running back. Who's going to be the best rookie, incoming sophomore?
Sophomore. Blanking right now. What would it be? Bucky.
Bucky, Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah. Benson, Ray Davis.
Benson.
Obviously Brooks is now out of the equation. I don't.
Braylon Allen is still out there.
I don't think Bucky can not be the call.
Dorendo.
He kind of has to be the call, bro.
Bucky has to be one right now. Yeah. Dorendo's interesting, but I guess it's still murky with CMC and Mason. So Bucky's got to be one.
Yeah, I don't see how. The only reason I didn't want to speak is I just want to hear what you guys think, and there's certainly there's still a committee there. You know what I mean? So it's it's not as clear as we have fun with the Bucky stuff. And we really believe in Bucky here. We're a Bucky people, but there is a thread of committee without any sort of resolution there. So there's reason to be a little bit concerned about whether we get the most out of Bucky. Will they screw this up? But based on hold on, one second. Based on pure talent alone, Bucky Irving has the ability to be a top 5 running back. Benson, we don't know what he is. Brooks tore his ACL. There's definitely other players like Tracy, who's 25 years old though as a rookie. Blake Corum is a strong play. Ray Davis was phenomenal. Jalen Warren, we haven't even seen him do anything yet. Isaac Rendo is super attractive for the long term. If the Niners, let's say, can't retain Jordan Mason because there's an offer on him that they don't want to match, and all of a sudden Garendo's the future. So there's something to having a little bit of be smart and hesitate and think and talk it out. No, just Bucky because we love Bucky because Bucky's situation's weird. But man, from a talent perspective, like just watching him play, he's a mix between, trying to think of the best running back comp for Bucky, but he's kind of a mix between like Jahmyr Gibbs and another running back that's not coming to mind right now.
That's what I was thinking because he's in a committee. He's in a committee and he still produces, and he's electric too. So
yeah,
everyone
keeps
an elusive runner as well.
Gibbs has.
A couple of you keep saying Chase Brown. He's not a rookie.
I think the thing with Bucky too is like we were talking about. I think it was in the Patreon a little bit tonight. How just like with Gibbs, you don't, and like you were saying, you don't want them taking 300 carries a year.
Yeah,
Bucky is better. He's so efficient and electric that Rashad White and him can coexist together, and we're kind of seeing that, especially in a fantasy standpoint.
Yeah. And Bucky Irving, if I remember correctly, real quickly, 1 second, guys. Bucky Irving, let me just look him up. He's 5'10". I feel like he's playing at about 199, 200. I think he was listed as 195 back when he entered the league, but I believe he's probably put on some weight because he looks a little different. He looks I remember watching film on him. I remember him as a rookie. I remember him at the combine, and I remember thinking he was a little slender. But, putting on NFL weight with NFL weights, putting on NFL weight with NFL food and professional training, he's easily probably bulked up his arms and his upper body. I imagine he's playing at like a 201, 202, could even be 205 at this point. We don't know. But if Bucky was to add like 5 pounds, to make sure he's well above 2, like 204, 205, I don't think we have a problem with him staying healthy. I don't think he at all. I think that's
get on that HN diet.
Yeah, that's the perfect weight in some respects with what Travis said. He's not an every down back, but he's a workhorse utility. But he is a workhorse. Workhorse does not mean you have to be an RB. Workhorse could be Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is a workhorse. I don't care what anybody says. I've been arguing with people for 20 plus years on it. Workhorse to me can mean something different than workhorse to somebody else that runs their own content and channel over here. I can give two shits what they say. Workhorse is somebody that's getting massive volume. Alvin Kamara is a machine, a workhorse. Just as much of a workhorse as Derrick Henry. I'm not talking about between the tackles. It could be anything. And Bucky has the makings, if you use him right, to be Jahmyr Gibbs-like, Alvin Kamara-like. And that's enough in this league, this morph of positions. This, instead of wide back, it's now wide, it's more of like the inverse of the wide back. Like, that's what Bucky is. So my answer, it's a good topic. My answer, this would be a sophomore show, essentially. The way you worded it was confusing because you're talking about rookies. If you're talking about next year, they're not rookies anymore. So sophomore rankings video. I'll do a video on this. Who are my sophomore ranking running backs? My sophomore ranking wide receivers. I think that would be good content. I think it'd be really good content.
Great content.
I think
Benson
Benson is really interesting. I was just going to say, I think Benson is really interesting with Connor's getting a little bit older. And I mean, I give him all the credit. I like Connor, and he seems to just every year kind of put it together and figure it out without missing too many games. But I don't know exactly how old he is, but you saw little flashes of Benson as he got more comfortable and stuff. And I think he could be really interesting. Sure.
Yeah, and Bucky averaged 5.5 a carry this year. He's doing amazing.
It's 2 games left for Connor, and it's surprising that he still hasn't missed time. I don't want to jinx it for him because obviously he got hurt today. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Connor's been amazing. I went up against him in both my leagues today and was just terrified. But
yeah, Connor.
I have one more question for you, real quick, Smitty.
Yeah.
Just a quick early Super Bowl prediction with the things that have unfolded, injuries and records and people getting kicked out of the playoffs. Who you got in your Super Bowl prediction? Who you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
Lions are Lions and Eagles. One of the two is going to be the NFC contender, and from the AFC side of the fence, I mean the Chiefs are the easy pick because they continue to win. They just continue to win. They slow teams down. I think they're deceptive in people saying it's the worst team that's been this good they've ever seen, but that's by design. They're literally putting
That's like Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady wasn't going crazy when he was winning those Super Bowls. He was just winning games.
It's like tying a bunch of cinder blocks to somebody and throwing them in the water. That's what the Chiefs really do to you. Not just defensively, but the way that you match up against them, and then the flow of the game is just slowed down. That's what will make for a boring Super Bowl, unless all of a sudden the thing that I think we're on the verge of, though, is this team starting to play a lot more high octane. You got Hollywood Brown back, Pacheco's back.
Yep.
I think maybe we just start seeing Mahomes start lighting it up. And as I said about a week and a half ago, that once Mahomes gets in the playoffs, he's going to piss off a lot of people because he's going to start having 3 TD games. And he had 2 TDs today. He had a rushing touchdown with a bum ankle and a passing touchdown, and an opportunity for another. I mean, this might be a 3-touchdown guy in every single week of the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to probably say...
He was awesome this week.
What?
He was awesome this week. He was probably, top 7 quarterback between everybody who dudded this week?
Yeah. Travis, what were you saying before I give my answer? What were you saying?
I was just going to say real quick, it's kind of what you were touching on. I think maybe a month ago, you could have said if things stay how they are, if they run into someone who gets up by a couple touchdowns early and can just chuck the ball on them for a whole game, they could be in trouble. But now you look at the depth they have, Hopkins, Worthy, Hollywood, Hunt, Pacheco, Gray, Kelsey. They have all their offensive weapons coming together at the right time.
Yeah.
So that they can turn it up to that high octane.
I mean, Hunt and Pacheco,
we're going to start seeing that.
Hunt and Pacheco together is a really good crew. Kelsey's going to probably be like what everybody expects, maybe fail people in week 17. And then all of a sudden, once the playoffs are here, here's a guy that's going to give it his all. It's like he's been saving it, load management, but playing, type of thing. And it's going to be just Mahomes getting in a groove. And keep in mind, like the LA Lakers back in the day, and some of you might not be old enough for this, but the Lakers versus Jordan, the Lakers versus Bird, all back in, if some of you are old enough to know that, what I'm talking about, the Lakers could have the worst season ever. Or the Portland Trailblazers with Drexler and crew, they could have the worst seasons ever, but if they made it into the playoffs, it was a total reset. Didn't matter how their records were, didn't matter anything. The Lakers could take anyone down. They were a formidable opponent. They just had to slip into the playoffs. And LeBron's like that in some ways too, but like that's the way I feel some of these teams are, like Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think once they get in, it's a whole different monster. The flow of game is different. You got to win consecutive games. You can't lose once. It progressively gets harder. I think that if I had to guess, this would be, I don't think I'm ready to pick a winner. Maybe I will force myself right here, but I would say I'm very confident to say that I think Philly, anything can happen. Obviously, this is the NFL, but I'm going to say Philly and Detroit on the NFC side of the fence. And then I'm going to say, man, it's hard to count out Baltimore at all, so I'm not doing that yet. I'm thinking about it and contemplating it. So we've got, and we'll see what happens with the Bengals and Joe Burrow and the boys. Let's see. What are the Bengals' chances of making the playoffs percentage-wise? Does anybody have that?
They're pretty good right now. I think they need to win out, of course, but they had like a 6% chance coming into today. And as long as they won with the Colts loss, which obviously the Colts won, or a Dolphins loss, they would have had better odds. And both of them won today, so it made it harder.
So what's the percentage? Does anybody have that? Travis, look that up if you can.
I think it's 9%. 9% is what I'm seeing.
So it's not
9
great.
or 10%.
It's not great. All right. Well, we're gonna leave. So,
yep.
We'll leave them out.
Their defense is too bad to go to the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna say Buffalo.
Yep.
I just think Josh Allen is. Someone said 11%. Thank you, Ice. Appreciate you. Someone said, yeah. 11. Okay, 11. I'm going to say Buffalo. I might get a little hate for this, but I think Baltimore falls short again. I'm gonna go. Like it's close. I mean, Baltimore's right. They're the third team. They're the third team. Someone's got to lose. Casey's having an unbelievable season, and as I just said, they're getting on their horse right now. Worthy's looking like the guy we wanted him to be all year, and Hollywood Brown's back. So they've got weapons galore. They had no weapons. They have weapons galore now. Their defense is amazing. These are two very, very formidable defenses, especially, when you're talking about playing at home. I'm going to say at the end of the day, Detroit. I reserve the right to change my mind when the bracket's all set. I'm going to say Detroit versus KC. KC wins it all. Three-peat. We start having conversations about Mahomes. And I know everyone's going to be like, he's not even good, blah, blah, blah. But he's going to be on the map for the conversation of how close is he. Not saying he's past Tom Brady or anything, but if he has a three-peat, something no one has, how close is he? He's in the conversation of, look at how young he is. Are you factoring that into your argument? Are you factoring that into his value? It's like you're trading the Michael Jordan rookie card right now, and you're buying it, and you might be buying it at a certain price, but you're sitting here going, I know it's going to be worth so much more. He's going to be the number one overall sport. Like, this is how I feel about Mahomes. I think Mahomes is only going to get better. Everybody totally hates him right now because of the season he threw down. It was a weird season. I think Mahomes is going to be super valuable next year because no one's going to go near him unless he goes on a tear, a 303 TD tear throughout the entirety of the playoffs. But I'm going to say KC wins it all. They beat Detroit. Subject to change. Let's let the bracket come out. That's what I'll say right now.
Let's go, Chiefs.
Last thing I'll say real quick is, like, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a Patriots fan. But if any other quarterback lost their number one wide receiver that early in the season, like he lost Rice, like, that would be an excuse left and right.
And Brown.
You don't really hear Rice even talked about.
I know.
Rice
was one of our best predictions on the year. Like that.
Pacheco got hurt too.
You start talking about, hey, Smitty, what'd you miss? What'd you hit? Like, we forget that Rice was on par to be one of the best show predictions for the entire year. Like, that sucks when
especially the way you navigated the Rice in terms of drafting him. You stay away from him at first, and then once the value started to come in, you just smashed on that pick.
Yeah.
He was top three. He was top three before he got hurt. I mean, I believe he could have been top three. Maybe even passing up Jay Jettas with the slump he had. I mean, not to say we couldn't predict that Rice wouldn't have had a slump as well, but he was on a roll, man. So great year for the Fantasy Football Show. Great week for the Fantasy Football Show. Thank you, Smitty.
All right, bro. We'll see you later, Jordan. Two-time junior, you've been waiting a long time. Sorry about the wait, two-time. What can I do for you?
Hey, no worries, bro. Again, always appreciate you. Your tips and insight, always top-notch. So I'm up by 48. My opponent has Green Bay's defense. I feel pretty confident I'm going to pull out this win and go to the final. But Hurts went down. Drake London went down. Kenneth Walker went down. And Trey McBride completely underperformed today. But I still pulled out a pretty big win. How do you bounce back from that in the final, in your opinion? Stay dominant.
Well, I mean, you only have so much choice, bro. You got your players. I mean, like, there's nothing you can really do at this point. What is your team? Your entire team? Hurts?
I have Hurts and Tua, Drake London, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley, Xavier Worthy, Gibbs, Barkley, Walker, Kendra Miller.
You have Charbonnet?
I do not have Charbonnet.
Is he available? He shouldn't be.
I do not believe so.
Okay, yeah, you should have cuffed them. Damn it. Walker's hurt right now. I mean, you got to ride those two running backs, bro. Gibbs and Barkley hopefully take you to the moon. I'd probably scour the
Well, I'm
waiver.
looking for that bounce back from McBride. I mean, that was an extremely low game for him today.
I'd definitely scour the waiver wire for a quarterback. You got to look at that all week.
For next week, would you lean into AR5 or Geno? Because those were the two
AR5.
most interesting picks.
I would relate it to AR5. Yeah, just because he could get two rushdown touchdowns any moment, bro.
Because I know that he's available out there.
Yeah, I'd jump all over that, bro. And good thing is there's only two of you left, so like no one's gonna go picking up AR5, so you should be able to get him. Yeah, I would take AR5
Right.
unless your opponent's like I'm gonna block him. But
I don't think he wants to do that. He has Baker and Goff going into next week.
yeah, that's the only thing you can do. There's nothing to bounce back from. You play your guys. You can't play Walker if he's injured. London's banged up. Let's hope he's okay to go.
Yeah.
And then you just roll with your studs, bro. You don't
So
get cute.
would you think Worthy or Ridley's gonna have another good week next week?
I don't trust Ridley to be consistent, so give me Worthy, who's kind of up and coming, doing well. He's got 22 targets in 2 weeks. Worthy's doing well,
Right.
but I mean anything can happen. Trust your gut. Like Ridley could go nuts and Worthy could have 20 yards. I don't know. I'd probably roll with Worthy.
Well, I always appreciate you, man.
All right, bro. Thanks. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Travis.
Later.
Anything else?
Not just I was going to say, Mark Cleveland's team in the Marsman League is kind of cool. It's kind of funny. Today he had Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, and Chase McLaughlin all playing. And he's got McMillan on his bench too. He's got like the whole Bucs team. And if you think about it, we were looking at it, talking about it, like they all just pile up fantasy points. It's kind of rare that you like the Vikings can do that at times and stuff.
What is
it's
the rest
rare
of
to see
his
a team?
What's the rest of his team?
Huh?
What's the rest of his
So
team?
he's got Baker, Breece Hall, Bucky Irving, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Kittle, Rashad White, and Shakir.
Okay.
And then on his bench, he's got some handcuffs, McMillan, Pickens.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a good battle. I'll definitely make sure you remind me to talk.
I was going to ask you one question real quick. So the one thing I worry a little about is I have nothing I can do about it, but JSN and DK going Thursday night. But my tight ends are Pitts and Strange. Would you look at like a Conquo over one of them, the past two games he's had? Or do you think you would just hope for the best with Strange or Pitts?
God, Pitts is such a disappointment. After that tip pass, what an idiot.
The Conquo he's had 10 and 11 targets. Like, I mean, I may not even be able to get him, but. I guess it's just kind of a toss-up. Go with the hot hand? Or
Yeah, I probably would go with the hot hand. I mean, 10, 11, he's got 8 and 9 receptions in back-to-back games. We've always liked Okonkwo. He was on the Moon Man list, I think, last year.
Yeah.
We really liked him. So it's not like he's 6'3", 240.
Oh, and
boy.
Schultz was the other one I was going to ask you about. Now with Dell out,
yeah,
you might get some more targets
I
right?
might lean
so
Schultz.
Like
yeah.
Two of them.
I would lean Schultz.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Will we do waivers tomorrow?
Yeah, I might do a upload video on it. I might do an upload, but I'll get with you. You can DM me any players you think should be added. That's fine too.
All right, cool. Appreciate it, Smitty.
Thanks, Travis. Later. All right, I got a couple of super chats here. I'm sorry about the wait, guys. Murph, thank you so much. Don't sleep on Drake May heading into next year. He's 18-plus fantasy points in 4 of the last 5 games. Can rack up yards on the ground, too. Needs help on the offensive line. Bro, definitely. I like May a lot. He looks really good. Looks better than Caleb. And honestly, Caleb is my 5th ranked rookie quarterback, and he will be my 5th ranked sophomore QB. I'm not ranking him. I'm ranking Penix Jr. above him, obviously. JD5, of course. Bo Nix, Drake May. These guys are all ranking above Caleb, in my opinion. And they need a wide receiver. They're probably going to break the bank on T. Higgins, is my guess. Or do some sort of, rookie drafting. I mean, look, you got the number 2 overall pick. Why not explore Travis Hunter? That would be a remarkable wide receiver to add, and you maybe get a DB as well, which is risky, but I would let him play whatever the hell he wants to play. If I was in control of this situation, I would either have the New York Giants crash and burn within 1 calendar year, they never recover from it, or they win a Super Bowl within 1.5 years, not even 2. We will win a Super Bowl that quick, mid-season. And the reason I say that is I would get ultra aggressive. I would take Shedeur Sanders at 1. I would trade my 2nd rounder into the 1st round by surrendering as many 1st round picks as I needed to grab another top 5 pick. And I would take either Travis Hunter to put right next to Neighbors, or I would draft Ashton Genty. And I would not stop there. Of course, I would attack, with other 2nd rounders and such, the offensive line, the defensive line. You can do a lot of that in the 2nd round. But I would move my 2025 2nd rounder into round 1 using 1st rounders, get Genty or Travis Hunter, draft Shedeur at 1, bring Deion Sanders in as my head coach. We will win a Super Bowl within, we'll call it 2 calendar years, or crash and burn the entire thing to the ground. And I wish people were as aggressive as that when they walk in the door, but they're not. Think about that. Deion Sanders as your coach, Shedeur Sanders as your quarterback, Travis Hunter as your wide receiver and defensive back. Like, this is a guy that plays both sides of the field. If Travis Hunter were in the draft as a defensive player, he'd go top 5. If he was in the draft as a wide receiver, he'd go top 5. He wants to play both sides of the ball, and I would let him. And you have fixed part of your defense and fixed and improved part of your offense with 1 draft selection. That's why Travis Hunter arguably is the number 1 overall player, if you think about it that way. You could get a top 5 D-back and a top 5, well, maybe you don't consider him top 5 in the NFL, but a top 5 rookie D-back and a top 2 rookie, number 1 rookie receiver, and top 5 defensive back with 1 draft selection. That is what you call the number 1 overall pick. Malcolm, appreciate you. Did New England expose how to stop the Bills in the playoffs? No. They couldn't finish, but maybe only me thought they would put up a good fight. No, teams have bad games, bro. It happens. It happens to the best of them. The Chiefs lost a game. It happens. But no, they haven't revealed anything. I will say that the Bills might end up getting nudged out of the playoffs a little early, and maybe Baltimore does that. But KC's the one that's why I say I reserve the right to put Baltimore over Buffalo or Baltimore over KC if I change my mind on this bracket. This is just my initial thought. But the reason I could see Buffalo getting nudged out is because they don't have receivers, and they didn't try and bring. I mean, they did trade for Cooper, but I just feel like they didn't fix their solution. They didn't have a solution. They didn't fix their problem. Like KC, they didn't have any receivers. Now they have them all back. They feel different. It's a different vibe going on. Chiefs are a much better team right now. And it's a whole different thing. You want to judge the Chiefs based on the early part of the season. That's fine by me, but that's a mistake. The Chiefs are a different team today than they were 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago is a totally different Chiefs team. Malcolm says, the Chiefs, you're in denial. I'm in denial, huh? I don't know if you're talking to me or not, Malcolm. All right. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later. See you tomorrow. Appreciate every single one of you. Congrats to all the winners. You guys absolutely exploded. On that, I'll leave you with this new list. It is called the Jupiter Men.
The Jupiter Men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter Men. There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon.
Look at this.
But only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
Didn't land them all.
They are the 8 supernovas. They are the 8 supernovas. The hateful 8 supernovas. I'm looking at the 8 supernovas. The magnificent 8.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember.
Hey, Chan.
Got him. Your Bijan card has been revoked.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Get Bijan.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Touchdown! Your Bijan card has been revoked.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's
Membership questions. I have JD5, Gibbs, Achan, Jacobs, Lamb, Higgins. Thanks. Nikki, nice job, bro. Nikki to the moon. Thomas, appreciate you. Thomas says Smitty is the GOAT, taking me to the championship. Gibbs is fire. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you again. Nice team, pal. Travis says round 1, Patriots trade back and draft left tackle. Yeah, they could. That wouldn't be what everybody wants. It's not the fun move, but they certainly could. But I would take Travis Hunter, and I wouldn't even hesitate. 31-month membership. Travis Rowe, good idea, says Terry Roberts. I'll see you all tomorrow. Appreciate every single one of you.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.